New York Post is calling woke, lures hordes of strung out junkies with freebies, zombie apocalypse. What are they luring them with, Eric?
Well, most notably, the draw here, as I spent, I don't know, 30 minutes there. The draw here is the restroom. It's the bathroom. Okay. You can go in there. It's a one-person bathroom. You can lock the door and you can do whatever you want. That I believe to be the main draw. There's also some freebies, whatever they're handing out, stuff for junkies. You know, junkies love free crap, but they don't. But you'd be surprised because the junkies they're gonna make their way, right? And I always made the joke that if we just start smoking crack or we start smoking meth, it makes your life much simpler because now you're only after one thing. You don't have to worry about this bill and that bill and your schedule and all this, making it to work on time. You start doing hard dope, you've got one problem to take care of. So it's really streamlining all of your issues. So that I don't believe that they're really going there for blankets or whatever these people claim to be giving out. They're going there because it is a quick and hassle-free bathroom that they can lock behind them and do whatever they need, and quite likely pass out until somebody knocks on the door really, really hard. And I wanted to go in there, not because I genuinely had to use the restroom while I was there, but obviously I want to see what else is like, what it's like. But I stayed there for like nearly 30 minutes, and nobody came out of that bathroom, but it was locked.
Just a guy passed out in there. Let's read this part, then we'll show your video. Blue Stockings boasts on its website that it is a collectively run activist center, community space, and feminist bookstore that is radically inclusive of all genders, cultures, expansive sexualities, and identities. That sounds like it took 5 different types of social justice warriors to write one sentence. Well, we're collectively run, says the communist. Oh, we're a community space that's a feminist, says the feminist. Oh, we're inclusive of all genders, says the transgender person. And identity, says the black supremacist. It is also a state-recognized opiate overdose prevention program, which pushes, quote, harm reduction services like Narcan, drug testing strips, and a delightful used needle drop-off bin, all of which critics say enable junkies. Well, we know that people say that when they say critics say or something, that means that's the reporter's opinion, which I'm not disagreeing with. I just don't like when people say that. People have agreed with, people on the internet that agree with me say.
I saw a tweet.
Exactly. In just the first 45 minutes, the bookstore was open one day this week. The Post observed 4 parent addicts collect free toiletries and water. Did they include this video? One individual with a suitcase occupied the bathroom for 14 minutes. Excuse me, I've got professional things to do in here. There's a guy sleeping shirtless. It's October outside. He runs a high body temperature. We deal with this now 24/7. You don't say. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video that you sent me. Available at Report and Opine, which I put and realized that you can't see the URL on the screen. And he's also just taking a standing nap. He's just tired. Well, this guy noticed, Eric. He one more time.
Okay.
Go ahead without the sound.
Well, I was going to say he did notice, but he's not coherent enough to do anything. He's still high as a kite, right? So, and these are 2 of the junkies. So the article said, I mean, I basically saw, and I want to give credit to the New York Post for this. I basically saw exactly what they described.
Exactly, okay? Right?
Because those
are frozen in time, Eric. This guy in the shop there.
But the guy inside the shop, he was moving around, but he's clearly not all with it, right? And there's another junkie in there. So I think the guy that we saw, so not the guy outside, right? He's high as a kite. He's done. He was probably in the bathroom 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. So he came out. But then somebody else is in the bathroom, and the guy that we see inside, I believe to be second in line for the bathroom. So there's another junkie that can't be seen on camera who was knocking on the door, right? So 1 inside, 2 in the store outside of the bathroom, and one outside of the store. And that's just immediately around the store. That we can talk about what's happening on the entire block, right? Because there's quite obviously more of them. But another thing that's really strange about this, or not strange, incredibly predictable actually, is that, and I do have video of this. I'm trying to figure out what to do with it, but I mean, the propaganda books, it's just through the roof. There's not one regular book I could spot in there. Every single one is, oh, freeing ourselves, or how to stop white supremacy, the transgender child. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Every single one of the books was incredibly extreme, right? So it's clear to me there's a direct correlation between the the gender ideologues and the race baiters and the drug addicts. And there is a very prominent sign. Again, I have pictures. There's like hundreds of pictures from a few days in New York so far floating around. But a very prominent sign at the front of the store saying, please grab a mask if you don't have one. So in 2023, in late 2023, October 2023, the feminist, gender ideologue, extremist, Narcan trap house, legal trap house, is suggesting that you grab a mask and wear it to look at books while their bathroom is being overrun with junkies. So, is it crazy to think that they are drawing a direct correlation? I am drawing a direct correlation between the idea of blindly, mindlessly submitting to the mask phenomenon, because those are the only people who are going to allow junkies to destroy their bathroom, all in the name of tolerance or whatever it is. I mean, it's completely through the roof. Like, the mask sign, it didn't say you have to wear a mask. I didn't wear a mask. Nobody said anything to me. But it's very clear that they need people who are going to be unable to think for themselves, right? And that's just a sign that I'm okay with everything happening. I'm not going to think twice about it. And last thing here, when I was in there and I recorded, I just was taking video of the books and some of the people in there, like, and at first I was really nervous. I was like, oh, these people are going to get mad at me. And then I thought, these people don't know what the hell's going on. They have no idea what's going on. I'm a black guy walking around the race baiting feminist Rona junkie zombie bookstore. So I could literally say, oh, I'm just really enjoying this and I wanted to send a video to my friends, and they wouldn't think twice about it. Like, they're so far gone that in my head I'm like, I know what I'm thinking, I know what's going on, but they have no idea. So I said all that to say I might go back and try to learn more. But there's plenty of footage that I hope the world will see soon.
The only way I think that an activist bookstore survives, especially next to something called the Pilates Coven, which is some sort of astrology, witchcraft Pilates center. The only way I think something like this survives is that a liberal professor type or a rich person child who is operating this, because there's no business plan. When your business plan is gather up all the communist doctrine books you can and allow junkies to use your bathroom and sit outside the store and sleep, there's no plan there to make any income. Nobody who cares about the Communist Manifesto or maybe the Anarchist Cookbook is willing to pay for that. And there's no coffee being served here that the junkies will like because there's not enough heroin in it. The only way these activist bookstores exist here in NYC as well as in San Francisco is somebody's dad is paying for that person's way of life. Maybe they'll get the maybe that's the universal basic income that we'll see. Maybe they will get that couple grand a month and they'll open their own activist bookstore where people do heroin in the bathroom. Maybe that's the creativity that's going to come from UBI that everybody's talking about. But when you've got your bookstore next to the Witchcraft Pilates Center with your rainbow windows, really what it should have is say, we don't make any money here. Please don't rob us. And then just have a big heroin needle, have a neon sign that says heroin available here. And then, I mean, they've already got the queer, trans, and worker owned thing written on the side, but you can't even see, like, the rainbow's more important. This part is more important with the queer and trans worker thing. And then the bookstore name is Blue Stocking Cooperative. It's sideways, you can't really read it, and it's not a different color than anything else. The most important thing here is that there's a rainbow, a trans flag, and you can do heroin in the bathroom. That's the most important thing.
And to your point, in that article, the co-owner, quote unquote co-owner of the cooperative is 26 years old. Like, how, Sway? You're telling me that a 26-year-old is co-owner of a junkie collective in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, arguably some of the most expensive real estate in the country, and they are still afloat? No, something obviously is going on behind the scenes. This little them with the pit hair who, wants to be a man or whatever it is, at 26 years old is not operating that at a profit enough to pay the rent. And with all that said, San Francisco's still worse.
Turn it up, Jordan.